Afternoon, welcome people. I thought I would touch base and let you know that this week has been an incredibly difficult week for me. I haven't had anywhere near the health or wellness or energy or anything that I would have enjoyed. um, so I thought I would pop in and just let you know that I am still around. If it looks like I've been on social media all week, that is the power of having delegated people and tools and resources in your world. Just a couple of things I wanted to share with you is I've been a part of this fantastic challenge called Think Outside the Square Blanket Challenge here in the community where I live and work. And it's been such an important part of my resilience, like activating my resilience during this round of chemo. This round of chemo has been incredibly unpleasant. The side effects have felt worse than the first time around. They arrived very quickly, and it just feels like there's like been a little squared put at the end of chemo round 2 squared. So and that's been really disappointing. But the days that I haven't been able to do much, I have been able to make these rugs. And I'm activating skills that I had as a kid and as a teenager. I've been able to keep myself warm and just enjoyed just doing very little activity but keeping my hands busy. And it's allowed me to really process my thinking and understand my disappointment in my lack of function this week. Now, I'm not angry with myself, I'm not bitter, I'm just disappointed. I thought that I would feel better than I have this week, but I'm not. And that's just this crazy thing called chemo that I have chosen to take myself on. But being a part of this challenge has blessed me incredibly. It's allowed me to get outside of myself. It's allowed me to focus on an issue bigger than us, and that is people who are lonely, people who are cold, people who are living rough. It's allowed me to extend my generosity, which is a huge part of the way I operate. And that helps me get out of myself and helps me feel so insular. So I just want to congratulate Debbie and what she's achieved here. We doubled the amount of blankets that she set as a goal, which I think is awesome. And I've still got 2 more upstairs. So I'm already starting blankets for next year, which is pretty cool. I just think that that's been amazing. And if we could come up with something so simple that engages people, because the power for me around it as well is that I didn't feel so isolated. And when you're receiving treatment for cancer, you're a infection risk and a toxicity risk. Yay, so you can make me sick and I can make you sick. Bonus! Knowing that I'm doing this with other people and watching other people post online and say, oh, we're all in this together, really helped reduce my sense of isolation and sense of loneliness. So yay, Debbie, that is fantastic. I'm really, really proud to have been a part of that. And then Debbie sends me the most beautiful message this morning. One of the blankets ended up being quite large, and I went to quite a bit of effort to finish it. As I was pulling it together, I wrapped it around me, and I felt just incredibly warmed and loved by this blanket. And my husband John had used it one night. He's like, "This is amazing. Do we have to give this away?" And I'm like, yes, we do. And Abby was explaining to me via text message this morning, and I'm going to do my best to get through this because it still makes me cry, that there was a person that visited the Creative Fringe, which is a co-working space, who was there to see a treatment provider. And she was offered a blanket. She met the criteria and she was offered a blanket. And she chose this blanket that I made. And it had such a profound impact on her that Debbie said that it changed her sense of comfort and the look on her face and how she wanted to be in that moment. So knowing that my little bit of creativity and how I want to be out there in the world has had that sort of impact on somebody has now blessed me incredibly today and allowed me to go, right, where can I do that again? How can I do that again? What is the simple thing that I can do today that can make such a profound difference in somebody else's life? I've also had the most amazing opportunity to actually present at an online conference this week. Now, anybody who has put together a conference in the year 2020 and pulled it off on an online medium, you guys are my heroes, because that is no mean feat. So I have a massive shout out to Gerda, who has been a This Is Private Practice contributor. She is a practice building coach, mentor, guru here in Australia, and she has pulled together this 3-day online event. And I really wanted to be a part of it because it's Australia. I really wanted to be a part of it because I knew she was going to pull quality people together, and I also believe in my message. I really believe that when we embrace being the entrepreneurial clinician, we will truly change healthcare from the inside out. So I really want to impart that message here. Americans have heard me talk about this for years. Australians, you're just catching up. So Gerda's pulled this amazing event off with like 190 registrants, and the speakers have been high quality. Nicola and I actually got to speak at the same event for the first time ever. That's pretty cool. But Gerda's commitment to this event enabled me to go, how can I serve her? I wasn't well enough to turn up live this week. So last week I pre-recorded. I explained why I was pre-recording on the off chance that I wasn't well enough. And the feedback has just been amazing. So as a person who's living with a fairly major medical condition at the moment, having people in my world who are willing to embrace change and be agile and take us up on our offers of accessibility and flexibility, that Gerda has been the most incredibly generous thing I have received. And I'm just really proud again to have been a part of that event. And I am so excited. I've been watching Nicola for the last nearly 2 hours because Nicola uses a lot of words. And it's just so much fun to be a part of an event and be literally on stage with her. I think there should be more of that in our future. Oh gosh, other things I'm really impressed and excited by this week. We've had notification that one of our long-term brain injured clients has actually got a job. He fought really hard for that. He had probably close to 100 knockbacks before he got offered a job, and he's been in a job a month, and that's happened during this COVID lockdown environment that we find ourselves in, which I just think is amazing. I just continue to feel incredibly supported. I daily receive messages. I receive messages of encouragement, people sharing memes. Pauline Blizian sends me coffee porn, which I love. My gorgeous cousin Angela has created me a song playlist. People are making book recommendations for fiction because I just can't handle non-fiction at the moment. And people genuinely, I feel like you guys want to be on this journey with me, which I really appreciate, because this is not easy to turn up and be this vulnerable. And to let you know what's going on my world in such a vulnerable way is really hard. As a health professional, we are often expected to know it all, to have it all sorted, because we want people to trust that we know what we're doing. So for me to come on and go, today wasn't a good day. In fact, this week hasn't been a good week. In fact, I'm really not enjoying round 2 chemo at all. It's a huge thing to actually admit that stuff. I would previous incantations, I would have preferred to have just hidden and not been available or around. So other special mentions this week, Brittany Wagner from Tidemark VA is going to come on as the Book of Evidence USA distributor. I'm really excited to get that underway and finally pressed sold or go or whatever the button was on the printing today. That was hard. I'm used to being able to go to a printer and physically touch and handle and see what the finished product is going to look like, but Texas, not happening anytime soon. But she has graciously agreed to be the USA distributor, so it can start to reduce some of the postage times. I'm aware that it's taking some people 4 weeks to receive their books. I wouldn't want to wait 4 weeks for that. But I must admit, getting them created in the USA is considerably more expensive than getting them created here in Australia. Whew. And a big shout out to my Daring Dozen crew. You may not know this, but I have the absolute honour and privilege of leading a tribe of women who are going to make things happen in this world. You know some of them. But this week they stepped up and stepped in, and Cindy Doyle facilitated a group discussion and led these women and made sure that they got the support that they needed and that we got the support that we needed. And I cannot tell you the power of this community and the things that are going on, like the things that these women are achieving in their own work and in the business that they're creating, the influence and positioning you watch. You're going to go, oh wow, I wonder if she's a part of that Daring Dozen Joe talks about, because chances are they will be, which is really cool. So it's gotten to 3 o'clock here in the afternoon, Friday afternoon. I have really pushed myself to try and get things done today. It has taken me a long time to do not very much at all. So for those of you who are still waiting for me to respond to emails, I will get there. If you've sent me a message and I haven't personally responded, I'm sorry, I'm getting there. Just be patient with me, I will get there. And again, thank you so much for being a part of this with me, and for your honour, your respect and your love. Looking forward to seeing you next week.